Jane Goodall is an English primatologist and anthropologist. She is considered the world's foremost expert on chimpanzees, after 60 years studying the social and family interactions of wild chimpanzees. Goodall first went to Gombe Stream National Park in Tanzania to observe its chimpanzees in 1960. She is the founder of the Jane Goodall Institute and the Roots and Shoots program, and she has worked extensively on conservation and animal welfare issues. As of 2022, she is on the board of the Nonhuman Rights Project. In April 2002, she was named a United Nations Messenger of Peace. Goodall is an honorary member of the World Future Council. As a child, Goodall's father gave her a stuffed toy chimpanzee named Jubilee as an alternative to a teddy bear. Goodall has said her fondness for it sparked her early love of animals, commenting, "My mother's friends were horrified by this toy, thinking it would frighten me and give me nightmares." Jubilee still sits on Goodall's dresser in London. She had a much loved dog, Rusty, a pony, and a tortoise, to name a few of their family pets. When Jane was about 8, she read the Tarzan and Dr. Dolittle series and, in love with Africa, dreamed of traveling to work with the animals featured in her favorite books. Goodall had always been drawn to animals and Africa, which brought her to the farm of a friend in the Kenya highlands in 1957. From there, she obtained work as a secretary, and acting on her friend's advice, she telephoned Louis Leakey, the Kenyan archaeologist and paleontologist, with no other thought than to make an appointment to discuss animals. He felt her passion for and knowledge of animals and nature, high energy, and fortitude made her a great candidate to study the chimpanzees. Leakey felt that Jane's lack of formal academic training was advantageous because she would not be biased by traditional thought and could study chimpanzees with an open mind. Leakey, believing that the study of existing great apes could provide indications of the behavior of early hominids, was looking for a chimpanzee researcher. Though he kept the idea to himself, instead he proposed that Goodall work for him as a secretary. After obtaining approval from his co-researcher and wife, British paleoanthropologist Mary Leakey, Louis sent Goodall to Olduvai Gorge in Tanzania, where he laid out his plans. In 1958, Leakey sent Goodall to London to study primate behavior with Osman Hill and primate anatomy with John Napier. Leakey raised funds, and 14 July 1960, Goodall went to Gombe Stream National Park. She was accompanied by her mother, whose presence was necessary to satisfy the requirements of David Anstey, chief warden, who was concerned for their safety. Goodall credits her mother with encouraging her to pursue a career in primatology, a male-dominated field at the time. Goodall has stated that women were not accepted in the field when she started her research in the late 1950s. As of 2019, the field of primatology is made up almost evenly of men and women, in part thanks to the trailblazing of Goodall and her encouragement of young women to join the field. Leakey arranged funding, and in 1962, he sent Goodall, who had no degree, to the University of Cambridge. She was the 8th person to be allowed to study for a PhD at Cambridge without first having obtained a bachelor's degree. She went to Newnham College, Cambridge, where she received her Bachelor of Arts in Natural Sciences by 1964, which is when she went up to the New Darwin College, Cambridge, for a Doctor of Philosophy in Ethology. Her thesis was completed in 1966 under the supervision of Robert Hinde on the behavior of free-living chimpanzees, detailing her first 5 years of study at the Gombe Reserve, and continued to work at Gombe for the next 20 years. Goodall set herself apart from convention by naming the animals in her studies of primates instead of assigning each a number. Numbering was a nearly universal practice at the time and was thought to be important in the removal of oneself from the potential for emotional attachment to the subject being studied. On 19 June 2006, the Open University of Tanzania awarded her an honorary Doctor of Science degree. Goodall studied chimpanzee social and family life, beginning with the Kasakela chimpanzee community in Gombe Stream National Park, Tanzania in 1960. The early weeks at Gombe were challenging. Jane developed a fever like malaria that delayed the start of her work. Once recovered, the rugged terrain and thick vegetation made traversing the reserve a challenge, and often she hiked miles without seeing a chimpanzee. She found that it isn't only human beings who have personality, who are capable of rational thought and emotions like joy and sorrow. She also observed behaviors such as hugs, kisses, pats on the back, and even tickling when we consider human actions. Goodall insists that these gestures are evidence of the close, supportive, affectionate bonds that develop between family members and other individuals within a community, which can persist throughout a lifespan of more than 50 years. Goodall's research at Gombe Stream challenged two long-standing beliefs of the day, that only humans could construct and use tools, and that chimpanzees were vegetarians. While observing one chimpanzee feeding at a termite mound, she watched him repeatedly place stalks of grass into termite holes, then remove them from the hole covered with clinging termites, effectively fishing for termites. The chimpanzees would also take twigs from trees and strip off the leaves to make the twig more effective, a form of object modification that is the rudimentary beginnings of tool making. Humans had long distinguished themselves from the rest of the animal kingdom as man the tool maker. In response to Goodall's revolutionary findings, Louis Leakey wrote, "We must now redefine man, redefine tool, or accept chimpanzees as human." In contrast to the peaceful and affectionate behaviors she observed, Goodall also found an aggressive side of chimpanzee nature at Gombe Stream. She discovered that chimpanzees will systematically hunt and eat smaller primates, such as colobus monkeys. Goodall watched a hunting group isolate a colobus monkey high in a tree and block all possible exits. Then one chimpanzee climbed up and captured and killed the colobus. The others then each took parts of the carcass, sharing with other members of the troop in response to begging behaviors. The chimpanzees at Gombe kill and eat as much as one-third of the colobus population in the park each year. This alone was a major scientific find that challenged previous conceptions of chimpanzee diet and behavior. Goodall also observed the tendency for aggression and violence within chimpanzee troops. Goodall observed dominant females deliberately killing the young of other females in the troop to maintain their dominance, sometimes going as far as cannibalism. She says of this revelation, "During the first 10 years of the study, I had believed that the Gombe chimpanzee were, for the most part, rather nicer than human beings. Then suddenly we found that chimpanzees could be brutal, that they, like us, had a darker side to their nature." She described the 1974 to 1978 Gombe Chimpanzee War in her 1990 memoir, "Through a Window, My 30 Years with the Chimpanzees of Gombe." Her findings revolutionized contemporary knowledge of chimpanzee behavior and were further evidence of the social similarities between humans and chimpanzees, albeit in a much darker manner. Goodall credits the 1986 Understanding Chimpanzees Conference, hosted by the Chicago Academy of Sciences, with shifting her focus from observation of chimpanzees to a broader and more intense concern with animal-human conservation. She is the former president of Advocates for Animals, an organization based in Edinburgh, Scotland, that campaigns against the use of animals in medical research, zoos, farming, and sport. In 1977, Goodall established the Jane Goodall Institute, JGI, which supports the Gombe research, and she is a global leader in the effort to protect chimpanzees and their habitats. With 19 offices around the world, the JGI is widely organized for community-centered conservation and development program in Africa. Its global youth program, Roots and Shoots, began in 1991, which encourages young people around the world to be agents of change by participating in projects that protect the environment, wildlife, or their communities. She met with anyone she felt could be key to protecting places like Gombe Stream National Park and species such as her beloved chimpanzees, and has been an advocate for protecting animals, spreading peace, and living in harmony with the environment. When a group of 16 local teenagers met with Goodall on her back porch in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, they were eager to discuss a range of problems they knew about from first-hand experience that caused them deep concern. The organization has over 10,000 groups in over 100 countries as of 2010. In 1992, Goodall founded the Chimponga Chimpanzee Rehabilitation Center in the Republic of Congo to care for chimpanzees orphaned due to bush meat trade. The rehabilitation houses over 100 chimps over its 3 islands. In 1994, Goodall founded the Lake Tanganyika Catchment Reforestation and Education Take Care pilot project to protect chimpanzees' habitat from deforestation by reforesting hills around Gombe while simultaneously educating neighboring communities on sustainability and agriculture training. The Take Care project also supports young girls by offering them access to reproductive health education and through scholarships to finance their college tuition. Owing to an overflow of handwritten notes, photographs, and data piling up at Jane's home in Dar es Salaam in the mid-1990s, the Jane Goodall Institute Center for Primate Studies was created at the University of Minnesota to house and organize this data. As of 2011, all of the original Jane Goodall archives reside there and have been digitized, analyzed, and placed in an online database. On 17 March 2011, Duke University spokesperson Carl Bates announced that the archives will move to Duke. As of 2004, Goodall devotes virtually all of her time to advocacy on behalf of chimpanzees and the environment. Goodall is also on the advisory council for the world's largest chimpanzee sanctuary outside of Africa, Save the Chimps in Fort Pierce, Florida. In 2010, Goodall through JGI formed a coalition with a number of organizations such as the Wildlife Conservation Society and the Human Society of the United States and petitioned to list all chimpanzees, including those that are captive, as endangered. In 2015, the US Fish and Wildlife Service announced that they would accept this rule and that all chimpanzees would be classified as endangered. In 2011, she became a patron of the Australian animal protection group Voiceless. I have for decades been concerned about factory farming, in part because of the tremendous harm inflicted on the environment, but also because of the shocking ongoing cruelty perpetuated on millions of sentient beings. Goodall has received many honors for her environmental and humanitarian work, as well as others. She was named a Dame Commander of the Order of the British Empire in an investiture held at Buckingham Palace in 2004. In April 2002, Secretary General Kofi Annan named Goodall a United Nations Messenger of Peace. Her other honors include the Tyler Prize for Environmental Achievement, the French Legion of Honor, Medal of Tanzania, Japan's prestigious Kyoto Prize, the Benjamin Franklin Medal in Life Science, the Gandhi King Award for Non-Violence, and the Spanish Prince of Asturias Awards. Jane is still hard at work today, raising awareness and money to protect the chimpanzees, their habitats, and the planet we all share. She travels about 300 days a year giving speeches, talking to government officials and business people around the world, encouraging them to support wildlife conservation and protect critical habitats. She wrote many books and the subject of more than 40 films. If you enjoyed this video, then please like and share this video, do subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to click the bell icon.